Hey guys, hey man, 63607 here, and I don't know why I'm on an elephant, but that don't matter, cause it's my birthday.
Nobody likes you when you're 23.
And today we are gonna do something entirely different. Okay, it's really not entirely different, it's still me rambling on about shit nobody cares about. But today we're gonna talk about a series of shows I like to call the Ragdoll Illuminati. Essentially, these are shows at Ragdoll that were created by Ann Wood and had their music composed by Andrew McCrory Shand. And those shows are as follows: Teletubbies, Boobah, Tots TV, Rosie and Jim, and Brum. Before we start, let me share this disclaimer. I only grew up off of Teletubbies and Boobah, and the other three, I'll be honest, I obviously had no idea they existed. But with the proper guidance, I was able to get into them properly, and am now a fan of these shows. So, with that, cue the intro. So, where do we start? Well, here's what we'll do. I'll go from the ones I like the least to the ones I love the most. So, without further ado. Yeah, I don't care much for Boobah. Don't get me wrong, I do love it still, but of the five, it's the one I love the least. And honestly, that stems from the fact the Boobahs themselves have no personality. Literally what keeps the show alive in terms of watching it on a binge is the story people segments. So while I will still watch this show, it's not one I find myself going back to on a regular basis. With the exception of the episodes found on the Squeaky Socks release due to the fact those are the ones I have the most memories with. Which sucks because I know for a fact I used to watch this on PBS Kids, but I don't have that many memories with it. Also, I'd be insane to not include this bit.
I think the interaction, the exercise, looking at the beautiful colors.
Rosie and Jim is difficult to talk about, and not for any other reason other than the fact this show really is a bit divided. Because this is really the only show of the five that I divide into different eras. And that all, of course, depends on the captain of the Ragdoll, be it John, Pat, or Neil. And that's a video I can save for another time. So let's talk about the show without getting into that debate. Rosie and Jim really are a lovely, mischievous couple, and I really love seeing what adventures they go on when John, Pat, or Neil go out. And seeing the shenanigans that they get into always brings a smile to my face. But why is it ranked so low? Because honestly, despite the things I love about it, it doesn't have that hook that the other three have for me. So this is one of those shows I need to be in the mood to go out of my way to watch. Kinda similar to Boobah, except more so. Also, Duck is a mood. So, bit of a fun fact, I used to not like Brum at all. I didn't full on hate it, but it was kind of if you're gonna watch it, do it without me kind of thing. And that's really cause when I was watching the three shows I didn't grow up with, it felt like such a stark contrast compared to the other shows in terms of how the episodes were formulated. It threw me off incredibly. But after giving it a much needed second chance, I now of course love it. Brum is such a lovely little car, and the show itself always produces some great and memorable stories, helped by a wonderful narration provided by Toya Wilcox. And the fact I only mentioned her name should say anything about anything after season 2. So now this is where it gets kind of tough. I love both of these shows, so much so I genuinely can't figure out which one is going to be my number one. But for the sake of the video, this next one is going to be the one that nobody except me and like 3 other people know about. As much as I would love to say I was hooked on this show the second I heard this theme song, I can't. I got into it after I saw this.
Chum, look! I've got my sponge!
Tortoise, put that sponge back in the bathroom.
Well, you'll get it all kind of dirty if you do that.
Oh.
But that one clip alone does not really go into how much I really love this show. I love the Tots themselves, I love Donkey, Furry Boo, all the different segments in the different episodes. And if you're curious, my favorite episode type are definitely the storybook episodes. And man, I really wish I could say more, but this show is just the embodiment of childhood happiness. Or is it? I don't think it's any secret how I feel about this show. Is it? Growing up with different specials both on VHS and DVD, having memories of watching this on TV, and I could name the amount of times I would think of something from an episode that would stick to me, and being told, oh yeah, that's from this episode right here. The Teletubbies themselves are of course wonderful, Nunu's a great addition, the flowers are moods, and the baby son is... there. Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but she's a staple in the show, so it sticks. And honestly, I feel like this show will forever have a place in my life. Not the reboot or the Netflix version of the reboot. I still don't get why they did that. So there you have it, the Ragdoll Illuminati. I did have to do my best to keep everything kind of brief, because there is so much I would love to say about all these shows, but this was such a last minute thing, and I wanted it done quickly. But hopefully I got my point across. If you've seen a certain number of these 5 instead of all 5, I highly would recommend getting into the one that looks the most appealing to you. Me personally, I recommend Tots TV. But with that said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Amen is out. Peace. Best unintentionally timed joke ever of all time.